Hi everyone, you're welcome to Sapphire Needles. Today we'll be making this dress. If it's something you would like to learn, please keep watching, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Let's get right into the tutorial. So these are the fabrics I'll be using for this video, for this tutorial. This yellow one, and then I got this one because of the yellow part of the leaf on it. So these fabrics are 2 yards each. That's 4 yards in total. I'll be using this yellow one for the bodies for the main dress, and then the other one I'll be using for the lower part. You could pleat or gather, whichever one you like. So I'm going to place my fabric and put it on fold. I folded it into 4 places so it's on fold. I'm going to be marking for the front and the back, but first I will measure out the parts I need for the dress. Ankara fabric comes in 45. I'll be taking out 15 inches from this fabric, and I'll use the rest for the dress. So do your maths. Anyways, here I am cutting out the fabric, marking out the 15 inches I won't be using, and then I'll just take it out and use it for something else. So I'll be using this upper part for my shoulder, and then I'll just place the measurements. This fabric is folded into 4. I already said that before. Fold into 4 places for the front and the back. So the measurement is 17. That's 8.5 for the shoulder. And I'll go ahead to mark the width of the neckline. I'll be using 3.5 here. And then for the depth of the neckline, I'll place it at about 6 inches for the depth of the neckline, and I'll be marking the back neckline there as well. I'm just connecting it now from the shoulder, and after doing that I'll go ahead to mark my armhole. I don't know, I hope this is visible enough. So I'll go ahead to mark the armhole measurement, which is 9 inches plus 1 inch for shoulder slope. So now I'll just mark out the armhole, and then I'll rule that line. Then I'll connect the neckline to the 1 inch on the armhole line to get my shoulder slope. Okay, after doing that, I would mark my chest line. I'll be using the bust measurement to mark the chest line, which is 11 inches. And then after doing that, I would go down by 2 inches. As we all know that 2 inches is the bust line. 2 inches away from the chest line is the bust line. So I'll just mark 2 inches, and then I would measure my half length. I'm just taking the vertical measurement now. I'll measure the half length, which is going to be 18 inches, and then the hip measurement. I'll place the hip measurement, and that's that for this dress. So now I'll just roll my horizontal lines across the bust, the waist, and of course the hip. Remember, I already placed the vertical measurements. I'm so sorry if this is not visible enough, but from what I'm saying, I'm hoping you can understand what I'm doing. So after doing that now, remember the back armhole and the front armhole is not the same. So I'm just going to my armhole area now to mark the back armhole because it's straight, and then the front one is curved. So I'm going to be cutting out the back first. So I have to differentiate it. Now I'm adding my sewing allowance and the allowance for ease. You know, it's a free dress and won't be attaching a zipper on this dress, so it's just something you're going to slip on. No need to zip up or down, so the dress needs to have ease. That's what I'm adding now on all parts: the bust, the waist, and of course the hip. So I'll just connect it from the side all the way down to the hip measurement. So after doing that, I'm going to cut out the back measurement now. I'm just checking my measurements again and hoping I've done the right curves, and I'm connecting the armhole now to the allowance I had already put for sewing and for ease, because the sleeve also needs to have that ease and sewing allowance. So I'm putting that at the armhole. Now let's cut. This is the full length of the dress, by the way, before we attach the lower parts. So let's cut. I'm cutting out the back neckline now because it's higher than the front, but this dress is the front and the back, so I'll cut out the back first. I'll go ahead to cut out the shoulder slope, and then I'll be cutting out the back armhole first. Everything I'm cutting now is the back first. I'll take that out before cutting the front. So I'm cutting out the back armhole. See how it is straight, and then it only curves when it gets to the chest line, or well, about 1 inch for the chest line. So I'm just cutting out here, and that's it. I'm done cutting out the back now, so I'll just take it out, the middle, the piece in the middle. I'll take it out now, fold back. This is the front remaining. I'm using this one for the front, so I'll just fold it back and then cut out the neckline and the armhole. So on the neckline of the front, I'll go down by 2 inches because I want to put a slit there, like an opening. I'll go down by 2 inches and then cut it open. Now I'll be using facing for the neckline. So this is my fabric. I'll fold it. I'll put it on fold. Place the neckline on the fabric. Just put it on fold, just like the front is, and then I would mark out the neckline all the way to the shoulder, and then I would also mark out the shoulder on the fabric I'm using for facing. I hope you understand, just as you're seeing it here. So I'll just mark out the shoulder as well, and I'm just trying to make sure it's aligned well and I placed it well. That's it. So after doing that, I would take out the front piece, and then I want this facing to be about 3 inches, but remember I also put a slit in front, so I'm also going to be putting that slit on the facing. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going down by 2 inches and I'm also marking it open on the unfold right there. So now from that point, I'll go down by 3 inches from where the slit stops. I'll go down by 3 inches and then connect it to the shoulder slope right there. So it's not going to be straight. There's also going to be a slope on the facing. So now I'm just cutting it. If you want yours to be straight, it's fine, but I want mine curved. So I'm just cutting out the facing, and that's it. I'll place it front facing front, front of facing, facing front of fabric, and then I would pin it now. So I'll just take to the machine and sew it just like this, making sure I follow that part I already put a slit on in front. So now I'm doing the same thing to the back piece. I'm going to also cut out a facing for the back piece. I'm just tracing it out here. When I'm done, I'll cut it out. Went down by 3 inches, and then I'm cutting it out as well. So I'll place it front facing front, pin it, and then sew the neckline, just the neckline. I'll just pin it down and then take it to the sewing machine. So this is what the shoulder should look like when you're done joining your facing and the main fabric on the shoulder. Remember, you would have already sewn the neckline, so this is how it should look like. It should be neat on the inside, I mean the shoulder part. So first things first, you take your facing for the front and the back. You place them facing opposite each other. Then the part where you joined the cloth to the facing, your main dress to the facing, make sure the front and the back, the joining aligns together, and then you fold it to one side. Make sure it aligns together. You hold the facing of the front and the facing of the back together. Now this is the dress, the shoulder. I'm holding it together now. This center is the part that it was joined. They were all joined. Sorry, where the facing is joined to the dress. That, make sure it aligns the front and the back, just like this. Then fold it towards each other. Make sure front is facing front for the other side, and this one, the facing of this one is also, the front is also facing this one, just like this. And then you close it up together. This is the facing of the front and the back on the shoulder. Then this one is the facing of the main dress, the shoulder. So you just close it up like this. Yeah, it's that easy. Just close it up like this. Facing of the front and back facing each other, facing of the shoulder facing each other. You close it up together, making sure that the sewn side aligns. You pin it and then you sew. That's it. After sewing, this is what it looks like. And then now you can open it up to the right side of the dress, and then you see how neat it looks on the inside of the dress. So this is it right here, and then this is the inside of the dress, all neat. So now go ahead and iron it and then fix the sleeve. I'll be using this fabric for the lower part, and I'm cutting it out like 11 inches, half for the top, and then folding on the lower part before I pleat. So I've already pleated here, look at it, and then I folded the lower parts and joined it to the dress. Thank you for watching. See you in my next one. Bye.